time with, what we've been reading, the images that we've allowed to come into our consciousness, what we've been thinking, what we've been consuming, eating, drinking, paying attention to, even those people, even those opportunities we've neglected, all of the people and things and events that we've allowed into our lives or we've allowed to escape from our lives have shaped us. They have formed us into the people we are today. If we've made wise choices, wise decisions, lived wisely yesterday, we will reap the fruits of yesterday's labors today. And the fruits of that harvest will be wisdom today and a harvest of wisdom so that we can make wise choices and decisions in the future. If we've invested wisely in our health, our relationships, our friendships, our finances, we'll actually see fruits. We'll see the benefits. We'll see the results of all of those investments today and for years to come. And how will we know? We'll know because we have strong, healthy bodies, because we have strong, healthy, solid relationships, and because we have strong, healthy financial footing. Now, many of us have heard the story about the grasshopper and the ant, right? The folks who invest wisely today will have plenty tomorrow, just like the industrious ant. But if you're careless or reckless or if you're spendthrift, okay, if you spend everything today, or if you're idle and don't do any work today, if you don't store up for the months and the years ahead, you'll come up short, just like the grasshopper. You will have little or nothing to show for it. You'll have little or nothing in the future. Why? Because we reap what we sow. If we sow nothing, we'll have nothing to reap. If we do as little as possible to get by, or if we do nothing at all, guess what? When tomorrow comes, and it will come, we will have little or nothing because we made that choice. We made the choice. Nobody made it for us. We decided not to sow. Therefore, we will have nothing, no harvest to reap. Now, the law of seeding and harvesting applies to many, many, many areas of our lives, doesn't it? It applies to ourselves. Maybe we're developing a new skill, a new awareness, a new knowledge about something. Maybe you're focused on improving some aspect of your life. Your friendships, your health, your marriage, your fitness, your finances. It applies to our relationships. Our relationships with our spouse, our sisters, our brothers, our parents. Maybe you're raising young children. Or perhaps your children are now grown and you have an empty house, an empty nest. Seeding and harvesting applies not only to our personal life, our family life, it also applies to our work life, our teams, our staff, our boss, our organization. You know, whether you're working as an entrepreneur like me, or whether you work for a corporation, a nonprofit. Maybe you work for the government, an NGO, a school, a church. Maybe you're a project manager. Maybe you plan wonderful events, conferences, and programs. Or perhaps you work in healthcare as a nurse or doctor or PA. Maybe you're building a house, or planning a garden. Maybe you're planning a bar mitzvah or a wedding. Or maybe something simple like a meal for your family. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're about, the law of seeding and harvesting applies. Next week, I'll talk more about this important law and how it applies to other aspects of our lives. So join me next week for part 2 of seeding and harvesting. Now, last week was a very busy one for most of us with Thanksgiving and all. So if you missed last week's show, you can listen to the recording at www.talknetworkradio.com/legacy living. That's www.talknetworkradio.com/legacy living. And legacy living is LEGACYLIVING, all smushed together. Last week's show was all about perseverance, what it is, what it means, and why it's so important in our lives. The previous week, the show was all about legacy living. And before that, we talked about gratitude. So, if you missed any of my previous shows, you can listen to the recording anytime, anywhere, 365, 24/7. And you can find them here at talknetworkradio.com/legacy living. You can also leave comments for me there about topics you'd like to see for future shows. Before I close today, I want to thank each of you for tuning in to today's show and for allowing me to share a bit about my journey with legacy living and to share what legacy living is all about. Not just living and learning, but living and learning and serving so that you make a difference in your own life and in the lives of others. It's about being on purpose, about being intentional so that you can have authority tomorrow. Legacy living is one of the many ways to make your life count every single day, 365, 24/7. Before I close today's show, I want to thank you for joining me here today. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Burgess, and this has been Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. Please join me again next week right here on Talk Network Radio for another show of Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. We're here again next Wednesday, 10 a.m., right here, Talk Network Radio. Now remember, don't just count the days in your life. Make the days in your life count. That's what legacy living is all about. Have a fantastic day, and remember, make the days of your life count. God bless. That's our show today. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Burgess. I hope you'll join me again next week. Until then, don't just count the days in your life. Make the days in your life count. That's what legacy living, Make Your Life Count is all about. So here's to you. Have a fantastic day. Be sure to make it a yes kind of day. And remember, celebrate. Celebrate the music of your life. Make the days in your life count.